Hi there, I'm Maeve, and today we have a quick workout focusing on pelvic stability and core strength. So this will all be done on the mat, so if you can please grab a mat. And then also, if you feel that you have any knee sensitivities and you don't like to be on all fours, I recommend grabbing a chair, and I'll show some options, as well as a very thin pillow. So you may feel that you want this in the beginning here. So once you're ready, I'm gonna go ahead and come down onto my back. So finding what we call a neutral spine. So lying down on your back, I'm gonna move this pillow out of the way for a moment and just take a second with your knees bent. You may need to open your legs a little bit wider, but just start to notice what this feels like for your neck. So if your chin is sticking up really high and you feel like more of like the center and upper part of your skull is on the mat, go ahead and tuck that chin. So we want this long line through the back of our head. And if this is uncomfortable, this is where you may feel that you want a thin pillow here just to give your neck some support. So we don't want any gripping in our neck. So I'll show some options there. Wherever you are, let's go ahead and bring our hands into a triangle shape and then place this right on the top of our pelvis. So if you look at this triangle shape and where it is on the pelvis, it should be parallel to the ceiling here. So just take a moment for yourself and just start to explore. So if you feel that this triangle shape is kind of pointing down towards the floor, that may be that you have a little bit more arch in your low back. And then maybe you're experiencing the opposite where you're slightly tucking under what we call a posterior tilt and that those fingers are pointing towards your ceiling. So just move around for a moment for yourself and try and relax your hips and find your best neutral. Once we're here, let's now take our hands up onto our rib cage. So I'm wrapping my fingers around my ribs, my thumbs around the back, and you can close your eyes and let's just breathe into our hands. So do this with me. Take a big breath in, breathing into the hands, into the belly, and into the low back, and then exhale. Do one more like that. Inhale. So we call this diaphragmatic or 360 breathing. But if you think about it, 360 degrees all the way around your belly, your ribs, and your low back. You're filling that space with your inhale and then exhaling out. So now let's start to add a gentle core activation. So as you inhale, fill that space. And on your exhale, think about pulling up through your pelvic floor. So lifting up through the pelvic floor, closing the ribs, pulling the belly button to the spine, and cinching the waist. Let's do two more like that. So inhale. And on your exhale, so pulling up, essentially doing a Kegel sensation with a core activation. So doing that and closing everything in, engaging through your core, and release one more time. Inhale, fill that space, 360 breath. And on your exhale, pulling up through the pelvic floor and then pulling your belly button to the spine, cinching the waist, closing the ribs. And then can you hold that and just try and breathe normally here? So keeping that activation in your core, keeping that contraction, and then breathing. So then now from here, we're going to ahead and just press our shoulders down into the mat and start to move our legs. So taking your back leg, just lift it up and put it down. Do that 4 more times. So the goal here, again, you can actually put your hands back on your pelvis, is to keep your pelvis stable. So we're just gonna do a few marches here, just bringing some awareness to how we move our legs. And the goal is to be able to separate that movement, moving in our hips without manipulating the pelvis. Try your other leg. Doesn't have to be high, little lift and lower. So some things that may be happening is when you lift, maybe you're tucking under and you feel that triangle shape going up to the ceiling, or if you put your foot down, the opposite might be happening. So just see. Again, we want to try and do these leg lifts with a strong, stable pelvis and core. If this feels easy for you, let's start to extend the legs slightly and then dart. So you can use your hands for some support, but I'm really trying to keep everything still. Moving from the core, the farther your feet out, the harder this is. Let's take 5. And I'm exhaling every time, starting just to build some heat. Good. Last 2. Keep everything still. Keep pulling up and in through your pelvic floor, cinching through your waist, belly button to spine. Nice job. Put your 2 feet down. Now from here, push your feet flat down into the floor, squeeze your butt, and then lift your pelvis up to a high bridge. And come back down. So if you have any sensitivities in your knees, you can open your legs a little wider, straighten them out. But we're keeping that activation in the core. Lift up and in, and then squeeze the glutes. So I'm constantly thinking about pulling up again. It's like doing a Kegel sensation with the core activation in the pelvic floor and lowering down. So this stability and this control in your center, it's what's going to help you with your balance. So important. It's going to help protect your low back, protect your hips, protect us if we fall, being able to catch that weight, stabilizing from the center, and back down. And notice that all I'm doing is really just creasing at my hips and then squeezing the glutes to lift up. Nice. Let's take one more here. And just hold at the top with me, pushing your feet down, opening up your chest. Just squeeze your glutes. You can even put your hands on your butt and kind of hold yourself up if that helps you. And we're just going to exhale for 8. So take a big exhale and release. So every time I do this, I exhale and I'm finding more activation. Inhale and exhale, finding a deeper contraction, finding my deep core, that transverse abdominis, deep core muscle that really helps stabilize, again, your spine. Let's do 4. Last 3, you can challenge, maybe put the hands down. Last 2. And last one, really push through your feet. Exhale. And then just slowly lower your pelvis down, keeping everything stable. And you can shake that out for a second. So now we're gonna add a little bit of flexion or curving through your spine. So go ahead, and if you are still using that pillow, you can take your hand behind your head or maybe remove it for this exercise. Take one hand onto the top of your ribs and feel that closure of your rib cage. Other hand behind your head if that's available for you. Inhale with me, and then on your exhale, just look towards maybe where your ceiling and your wall meet, and then just lift up about an inch or 2. And put it back down. So we're just doing a few of these just to wake up this upper body, this flexion. But notice my pelvis. Nothing has changed. So the goal here is to keep the pelvis stable while we curve the upper back, support the head with the hand. So I am not letting my chin kind of drive and cheat the motion, because that puts a lot of tension into the back of your neck. But we're going to keep that chin tucked. You can use both hands as well, or switch, whatever's best for your body here. Just lifting up. Nice. So this is really forcing you to use your abdominal muscles to lift your body up off the floor. Now we're going to make a full range of motion, a little bit more functional here, like we're getting out of bed. So I encourage you, if you need some extra support, to hold behind your legs. Take an inhale, and then go ahead and do that same lift, but keep on going. So lifting up, use your hands. You can kind of like walk your hands up your legs. Try and sit yourselves up. You don't have to go all the way up, but if you can, that's great. And sit all the way up. Nice. And now we're gonna walk ourselves down. So we're controlling that landing, lying back. Again, use your arms. I'm scooping my abs here. But when you get all the way down, try and get to your neutral pelvis. And reach, good. Let's do 3 more, nice and slow. So again, maybe you go this far today and you stop here. This is great. Take a moment here, find that hollowing out through your abs, that exhale, getting all of that air out, getting that pelvic floor to pull up and in. Use your core and reach back. Nice. So the goal is to really be able to lift ourselves up. If we're laying on the floor, doing chores, getting out of bed, whatever it is, lift ourselves up from our center. It's called a sit-up for a reason, so that it really comes from your core. And if you have to use your arms, that's totally fine, but we're training the body to move more from the center, to have more stability. Good, last one. Let's make our way all the way up. And sometimes maybe you find a moment and you're like, I feel stuck here. So take a second, re-engage your breath, find your exhale, push through your feet, and then keep going. So that coordination with your breath is really going to help stabilize your pelvis and help you get more in tune with your entire core. So now we're gonna flip around and just finish here on all fours. So I'm gonna show this very quickly standing. If all fours is not comfortable for you, you can always grab a chair and just mimic all of these same exercises that we're doing as such. So with your shoulders over your wrists, and everything we do, you'll do here. So I'm gonna demonstrate the full range here on all fours. Coming down, let's open up those fingertips. Keep that long spine, long line of energy through the top of your head. And from here, go ahead and just take that big breath with me as we did. So that 360 or diaphragmatic breath. Breathing in. Exhale. 2 more like that. Now, as you're doing this, notice your pelvis. Although we are on all fours, that triangle is still parallel to the floor. So I like to envision, like if you're balancing a cup of coffee or something on your back, if you're arching here, it would probably spill, or other tendency can be to tuck and it would spill down. So we want it to be resting here, neutral position, parallel to the floor. Finish your last breath. Good, now from here, shift your weight more over your fingertips and push the mat away. All you're going to do is hover one knee, so let's start with your front knee, and then put it down. So notice there that there is a little shift because we're taking off 1 point of contact with the 4, from 4 points to 3. So when I'm lifting this front leg, my body wants to shift over to the back leg. So how do you stabilize your body and stabilize your pelvis is by pushing into that opposite arm. So that front arm, and keeping that lift through your core. Give me 2 more, and we're gonna take little kickbacks. Last one, keep your shoulders over your wrists, and then just flex your left foot, or your whatever leg it is for you, kick your butt back, and then pull in without changing your spine. So that's the hard part, is again, we're pulling the knee in, and we're kicking back. So it's kind of the opposite of what we did. We did this on your back and we're marching, and now we're kicking backwards. So this is more glutes and core on the way in. So glutes on the way out, core pulling up, up and in as you bring that leg in. If it's too much for you, you can always just tap back and put the knee down. Let's do 3 more. It is so low. It is not about height at all. This is about, again, I'm gonna keep saying it, keeping that pelvis stable and strong through the glutes, through the hips, through the entire core. Pulling it in. Last one, hold there with me. You can point your back toes and just take little lifts for 8. It's so small. 7, just squeezing the glutes. 6, check your weight that you're on your front arm. Last 4, 3, 2, and last one, lift and stretch. and you can rest that. Great job. I'm just gonna turn the other way so you can see. You can shake out your wrists. And let's finish this off together here. So starting on all fours, get yourself situated to what's comfortable, and then let's just start to hover your front leg and put it back down. So do what you need to readjust. Shoulders over the wrists. Again, if you're on the chair, your shoulders over the wrists, and you're just picking up a foot. So training the body again to be able to lift the leg, move the thigh without compensating in the pelvis or the low back, whatever it is. So keep this going and really keep applying that pressure into the front hand and using your breath. So keep coming back to these exercises and taking that time to find your breath. So in these moments of instability, especially right here when we're losing one point of contact, use that exhale. You're gonna feel how that helps you gather your center, get back in tune with your body. Good, last two. Everything is a core exercise, really, at the end of the day. We want our core to be working with us in everything we do. Last one, use that exhale. Flex your foot, keep your leg covered, and then just kick back. And keep it low. So now we're starting to add more activation in the glutes and pulling the knee in. Good, so this is really total core. Your core is not just your abdominal muscles, but it is your abdominal muscles, your diaphragm, and your pelvic floor, which we worked on in the breathing. It is your glutes, those little muscles in your pelvis, your hips, everything, your low back, everything to be working together. So this is a really great exercise for you to check in to all of those points. Give me about two more. Keep it low, focus on squeezing your butt. Last one, stay here. Point your toes, squeeze your back glute, and then just little lifts straight up for 8. It's super small. And this is where the body may want to arch. So this may be where the back wants to arch down. So keep scooping up and in, pulling in through the pelvic floor, lifting through the low abs, lengthening through the top of the head. Even if you're on that chair, stay with me for 4, 3, 2, and last one, lift, lift, lift. And come on out of that. Amazing job. And you can just take a seat here. You can just lengthen out your legs and reach your body forward, stretching through the back of your legs, whatever you may need here. And then just something to keep in the back of your mind when you're sitting on the ground and you need a little bit more extra length in your body, grab a pillow or fold up your mat. And anytime you're on the floor, it's always nice, I find, to have a little bit of lift under the butt, especially if you have some tightness in your hips. And that's just gonna help promote that more stacked position between your ribs and your pelvis. So just take one more breath wherever you are, feeling that length all the way through the body. And relax. Thanks so much for joining me for that pelvic stability and core workout, and I will see you back for another one very soon.